Hello and welcome to the League of Europe round 10, I believe. That might be a mistake. I'm hoping it's not. But Mexican Grand Prix here in Division 3. It's just me tonight. Jess is, she's actually going go-karting, my understanding, with a few of her, I think, Jacko Car and one of her friends. So hopefully she's having fun out there. Stay safe. And Evil's not here tonight, so it's just going to be me. So jumping in. I'm really looking forward to this one because Chill has only just got a bit of a lead from my understanding in this title fight. It was a lot bigger. It's not now. So let's get a bit of on-track action as we will follow out. That's a Williams out first. That's normally... Yes, indeed, it is. It's Chill. So we'll ride on board with him. He prides himself on getting out first for whatever reason. Let's have a little lap on board with him, I think, so we can have a look at how much of a tough track this is for Division 3 pad drivers, because this is very much a wheel track. I think most people would agree. I don't think there's too many pad fans of this one in the chat. So yeah, all good. Hopefully we can get a nice clean lap here. That's kind of what you need for your first lap. You just want to get any lap at all on the board. You don't really care what it looks like to a degree, because the invalidations here come thick and fast, if they're anything like me anyway. So we'll start on board with you. Going down the main straight, this straight seems to go on forever. What will be interesting tonight is there's going to be a definite variation in wings. I would assume that some people do quite a low wing setup, kind of a 10, 14, 13, 16 kind of vibe. Some people will have slightly higher, with 21, 17. As he comes through here, he's taking this in a lot lower gear than me. I'm taking that second exit third, whereas Chill kind of completely avoids it, but Chill is a lot better than me, so probably do what he does. We're in the braking zone just after the 100-metre board. You kind of pull it in. You wanted to be close to that apex. It's probably in too low of a gear for my liking, but again, that's probably the pad. That pad turning is not as good as the wheel. You want to get the traction down as early as possible there, but not too early. Fling it into this corner, cut the bit of the grass, which he doesn't do. Is he going to lift? He does lift through there. So I would assume he's running very low wings, because that isn't a massive lifting zone from what I would imagine. I suspect this is going to be a mid 116, if not a 17 potentially, at best. Again, third gear through here is fairly standard. Very skittish with the traction. Second gear through there, it's almost like watching a different game, to be completely honest, because he comes over 16.3. Great lap. Harry F 16.9. So again, you can already see some validation. Someone's round. That's Harry, as is Ryan V. I know he's been doing a bit of practice with Jordan in D4, who is currently lying second in the table. Tibos coming round, and he 16.4. Good lap from him, and I understand he's on pad 2. So kind of breaking the mould here. Top two currently pad drivers, to my understanding. Stomper is just starting the lap, but there's going to be a few people coming over here, which I imagine will be... One coin has invalidated. There's going to be a mistake, which will be Serge out of Connor O'Keefe. It is in fact Connor. He's doing a lap on the Inters, fair play. One pretty good lap on the Inters, to be fair. Trying to keep up the border with cars coming over. Dean Mortz will be next over on, obviously a title competitor. Not a good lap, would have been a mistake in there somewhere. As Harry is, his teammate, which is Lars, is coming through the stadium. Very tentative, but understandably, like I said, you just want to get a lap. Second gear again. Oh, okay. He's not on a push lap. That makes slightly more sense for me. As we're just seeing a few cars start to try and get going. But I think Stomper is the only one on a lap. So it will be interesting to know from his perspective how that's going to finish up. I'm just quite conscious I'm actually not in a party, so I'm just going to pop out and stop annoying anyone that has to hear my voice. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm just going to join a dead party. Video is paused. Okay, that's fine. Let's go into a party with somebody. It doesn't really matter who, does it? I'm going to join in with Bellon. Here we go. Some OGs might remember Bellon. He'll probably have the shock of his life that he's just got an invite for a party with me, considering I don't really think he can speak English. So if he joins, that'd be fun. Bit of a guest appearance from someone that used to play here years ago. But thinking on the fly a bit there. So hopefully they won't have the in-game noise anymore. So apologies if that distracted anyone. Just going to have a little look at the standings because, as some of you may well know, I am more involved in D1 nowadays than I am necessarily D3. So I do obviously know the title fight, and I know that last week was a particularly bad week for Chill. But he is still maintaining the top of this top of the standings. And if you can get through tonight, there's some kinder tracks for the padlock after Singapore, which is Austria and Netherlands. So that will be slightly better. I think Jeddah's pretty neutral from my understanding, but yeah, will be quite interesting to see how this kind of unfolds. I know he absolutely hates Spa by all accounts, but yeah, he's only 7 points ahead of second place D Morts, who's currently in the pits. Chill's on his outlap. White by White is doing really well. He's got 120 points. So Gap with 107. Ryan Red Bull B on 97. Cam K on 94. MCR, who's not here tonight, he's had a bit of an electrical issue, so he's not able to race. And Guapo has left the building in 8th, so that means Connor O'Keefe is 9th, J-Luke 10th. And I don't believe J-Luke is here tonight either, so yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see what these lads can do. It's not a full grid, which is, you know, to be honest, frustrating from a commentator's point of view, but you always quite like it when there's only about 17. It's almost like the sweet spot, I feel. When you see 20, you think, oh, this could be chaos. And it can be chaos into turn 1, so Gap likes the lap, he likes it enough to go pole. So very good finish from him. Matt isn't on a lap, he's just coming around, or he made a mistake on it, which is potentially actually the case. Chill is coming over to start his lap. He did a, oh no, he did a, no, he is starting his lap. Game's throwing all sorts of curveballs at me there. Ryan B pits. Connor O'Keefe is coming over the line to start his lap. Ryan B, the Alpha, Ryan B moves up to 9th. It's a good start from him. Lars, I think, just went over as well. A lot of times in the 16s. Surprising amount of times in the 17s. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think that would be the case. So, and that might give you a hint if anyone's listening from D4. I'm a little bit more confident than I was about 20 minutes ago. Let's go. But obviously a lot of time left in this session for them to improve on that. I would imagine most of these guys will get into the 17s. 16s, I should say. D Mort is starting his lap. So, look, we're going to run on board with the title protagonist. Well, I say that, Chill's invalidated that second lap. So, it will be interesting to know if he tries to get 4 laps. He's saving his battery. Interesting. Ooh. So, Cat takes out the marker board, which won't give him too many friends into that pit lane. And Chill, is he going again? Nope. Not this time, but D-Morts will be coming around, yeah, sector 2, 2 temps up. But this is where you make your time. This is crucial. How's he looking on board? Again, not much of the grass. No curb there. Looks pretty switched on though, actually. He's fairly confident through the sector. Got a road car on the right who does very well to get out of the way. He is miles up here, so he's on course, if he did the same sector, to be around where Aledi is. If he can just gain even a 10th, he'll jump ahead of Chill, which is probably his main goal. He likes the lap enough that he's going to stick it on the right hand side. Yeah, found 2 temps. Up to second. Chill will not like seeing that. Invalidated your lap and then bang, your title rival just smacks in 16.2. Not exactly what was high on his priority list probably, as we have Ryan B coming over, no, complete line, Harry coming over the line, and that is 17.4. definitely more time in that for him. We're right on board with Connor, who's got a bit of a mid-pack. Oh no, Jay Luke is here. Apologies. I don't know why I missed that. That's pretty awful. Hopefully that's not I haven't kind of cursed him in any way. He's going to be doing well tonight. He won't like the fact he's already retired, of course, so he's going to start from the back. Unless Toincoin doesn't settle out. But Connor, through the S's, I like his line a lot through there. Not that bit necessarily, but that looked one of the most planted Sector 2s that I've seen so far. He's making 2.5 seconds, but should be with a 19.8. You would assume maybe he made a bit of an error in Sector 3 as well. Looks very smooth. He's in 4th gear. He's had a second run at this, I suspect, looking at his ERS usage. And he is going to come over the line. He's going to just drift a little bit of time, but yeah, confident lap, 3rd place. Very good stuff from him. And that will be exactly what he is after. Stomper. Not seen much of Stomper, so very high gear, 7th gear through there. Interesting. He is pushing, but he's got no ERS. That is great timing for this, but he's going to be bleeding time so unnecessarily with the fact that the battery is absolutely drained. So he might lose that time back. Yeah, he's thought better of it. Lars is not on a proper lap. And we're right on board with Julisho 13. So he's coming round. I like that. Yep. That's nice. Bit funky there to a degree. Not on the traction as quick as perhaps he would have wanted there, but he gives a nice little snap of it on exit there. So does he take the grass? No one's taking the grass. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe that's an error. That was an error. That's too wide, but it does link him up nicely for the final part. And he will be looking for a 50. Yeah, I was going to say you need to be in the 56s to do a lot of damage here, really. And so anything in the 57s is not going to be really what you're after. Could jump Ryan B in the Alfa Romeo, but I think that's probably the ceiling for this lap. Oh, obviously he had a bad sector 3 in the previous lap because he's actually jumped Ryan B, White, and Lars. So yeah, solid performance from him. We've got 5 minutes left. Any predictions? Anyone in the chat fancies having a little prediction? Let me know. How many cars get through turn 1 as well? Because this is a nasty straight. Starts are crucial here. You can see where the start-finish line is. All the way down here, you are full throttle for effectively about 15 seconds before you have the problem of turning your wheel or your analog stick and braking. So that is a hell of a long run, and one of the longest runs in the calendar, if not probably the longest, I would assume. And yeah, it's going to make for a very interesting turn 1. Expect to see 3 or 4 people battling into that, and probably if you do see 3 or 4 people battling into that, don't expect to see 3 or 4 people by the end of turn 3. May the odds be ever in your favour, I think, to quote a famous film series. Sergat looking incredibly pacey here. I would assume he is one of the favourites for this race win at this point. It's not exactly a bold prediction, judging by the fact he is nearly in the 15s, which is incredible pace. And the Irishman is, wow, I mean, he's almost got like a binary point system. He either wins, DNFs, or picks up a couple. He has not finished anywhere on the podium other than first, which is a pretty staggering statistic, to be honest. But he will be looking to really push his title credentials today. He really needs a win. He really does. He needs a win. He needs, otherwise that gap is just going to be more and more improbable. But if he can get a win today and results can go his way, particularly with Chill, this is not a Chill track. This is the opposite of a Chill track. But Chill's attitude has got to be damage limitation. at this point, you would assume, for a track like this. If you can get a top 5, you can get a top 6 even, it's not the end of the world. And then you can bring them into other tracks where it's going to be a lot more difficult for them because his pace will definitely improve. That said, I don't really know what the inputs are for these guys. So D Mortz is on wheel, Sir Gatt is on wheel, and again, that doesn't surprise me. Conor O'Keefe is on wheel, and Matt Tibos is on pad. So Matt Tibos is the highest pad driver in 4th place. Front three are all wheel users. Pay to win, as Chill would call them. I would not. That's his opinion. So Gatt is slightly down. This isn't going to be... You've got to go hell for leather through here. Send it. And he really is. That looks probably the most impressive S's I've seen so far, and you can tell he was full beans committed. Don't like that entry into that corner though, to be honest. I wouldn't necessarily advise taking that orange curve, but he should improve unless something very strange happens. Pushes he's staying really to the right. He loves it. Great lap, unbelievable lap. Conor O'Keefe is improving, and he will think that is an absolute dagger because he was going to go on provisional pole without that lap, and he goes second. Matt Tibos is improving. Chill is coming round. He's not on a proper lap. Tibos is improving, and he has a gaggle of cars ahead of him. So I will try and see if there's anyone else on a proper lap. I don't think there actually is, so I'm right on board with Tibos. If I do miss anybody, I do apologise, but this looks quick. He's lost some time somewhere. It's all about the third sector now. Oh, he's backed off. He's backed off. I think that's that. You're not going to be able to get a great lap in with that kind of level of battery, in my opinion. So I think that is race 1. Chill is round. Chill is in the wall. That will be it for Chill. That is that. That's the best time he can get. Ryan B, 11. Lars coming round now. All of these guys are going to see that as a potential option, and that is actually a bit of a dagger to that young man, unfortunately for him. But what can he do in the race is the question. Stomper coming round, coming through up into the S section, which is just, it's such a Marmite section. If you grass line, there we go. Nice to see someone taking it. And this looks incredibly smooth here. And that is 2.5 temps up, which is really interesting because it's not actually the quickest that we've seen. I'm wondering if there's perhaps a mistake in sector 3, as he makes a mistake in sector 3 this lap. He seems to be a bit all over the show. That's kind of got into his head a bit. Is he going to finish the lap? He is, which indicates no, it wasn't quite good enough. Right on board. Aledi has invalidated, which is really interesting. Ryan B is coming through. Chill will be keeping a dead eye on this because if Ryan B can jump in, he can't. Lars. What does Lars do? He will come over the line. He is still pushing. He's staying tight. Doesn't improve. Harry's 3 temps up, but he's still... Oh, he's also invalidated, which is never going to be ideal. Toy Queen has managed to not set a lap, which, do you know what? My thoughts are with him because it's so easy to do here. I don't think he will be the only driver tonight that happens to. But yeah. 15.6. That is masterful. Absolutely masterful. For context, I'm going to jump into the D1 stream. It would have put him 9th in D1. Fair play. That is a cracking lap. Absolutely cracking. Fair play to him. That is a top effort, to be fair. So, yeah. Cracking stuff. Right. Very well set up. The man who is the underdog in the title race, Sir Gatt, on first position. I thought he was Irish. Conor O'Keefe, that is a very Irish name, but with a British flag, is in second. D Mortz is in third. Matt Tibos 4th, QVR Chill in 5th, Ryan, then Aledi, then Lars, Ryan B, Alfa Romeo, Harry F in 10th. A 5th row lockout there for those guys. Stomper, Julie Show, Whites YY, Harry, Camk, J Luke retiring, and Toincoin with a Luxembourg flag. Is that a Luxembourg flag? It looks slightly lighter. Suspicious. But yeah, looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be a really interesting example of racecraft because you need to nail the start and you don't want to get swamped. It's all well and good setting a good qualifying time, but if you end up 3 or 4 abreast into turn 1, that's where wings get pinged, unfortunately. So hopefully they all have a clean go, and yeah, all good stuff. But also tyre choices will be very interesting here because natural inclination probably for most of this game is hard medium. I think that is no massive secret. But if there is an early safety car, these tyres seem to last a hell of a long time. But the mediums will not go to the end. And I don't think that's telling any secrets necessarily. The hards, possibly. I don't actually know, but I know the mediums can last a while. Depends on what pressures people are running as well. And yeah, I part of me wonders if anyone's going to start on the less favourable starting tyre because of the warm-up phase in the second phase. But if you do, you might get a better launch too, which could be crucial. Again, this track more than anywhere. And again, that's reflected. A massive changeability in what people are selecting here. Sagat and Connor on those hards. So you would favour D Morts to almost do the Bottas routine, starting third in real life. It's pretty much the most OP spot you can almost pick. In some ways, you don't want to be on pole. And if you've got the best tyres, which they do, except for J Luke, who would do phenomenally well to make his way up into turn 1 as he's starting 16th. That will be interesting. Now, Matt and D-Morts will be very, very, very happy to see a block of hards behind them in the frame of QVR Chill, Ryan being a Aledi. Lars, Ryan and Harry have elected for those mediums. Everyone else at the back has gone on to the hards except J Luke, who is going to, I think Camk and Harry in particular will look behind them and think, oh no, this isn't going to be fun. And they're probably right, because he will get a launchable launches provided he doesn't stuff up the start, and then it's game on. I'm going to make some predictions. I am going to say Sagat runs away with this one, but I'm going to say safety cars intervene. I have a horrible feeling there's going to be a lot of pens as well, so if you can keep your pens down, but I have a feeling that Sagat should take the victory, but may end up having a bit of a problem with the timing of a safety car. And I'm going to go D-Morts, followed by Tibos, followed by Lars. Why not? Got to commit to that all medium sector, haven't I? So I'm going to say those front three, as Tibos doesn't start too well on those better tyres. He's going to start half a car back, which isn't actually very great for him, as Connor is very late to the grid. Bit of gamesmanship there, warming up those tyres, I suspect, as we will ride on board with Connor. This is probably the best view of the lot, as we are about to get going here at League of Europe Division 3. Round 11, I made a mistake, I wear my L's, and we're about to get going. So, Mexican Grand Prix, Sagat, Connor O'Keefe, D Morts, Matt Tibos. And it's lights out and away we go. And it's a cracking start from D Morts from the looks of it, who has got a nice run, but he might get a bit boxed in here as the camera angles here are starting to become a little bit annoying, as D Morts has got a run. But I'll tell you who has got a run is Matt Tibos. On the inside line, he is going to come from fourth, potentially up to second. He is second through this phase of the corner, but that doesn't mean a lot. I'm going to filter through the crowd as Stomper seems to be having an issue. And everyone gets through somewhat clean-ish, as Lars, though, looks like he was a bit of a victim of something there, because he has dropped a gaggle of places. But Tibos and Morts, they will be loving life. Now the option is get Gat as quick as possible, because they've broken through that little one of the hard runners, which will be very, very pleasing to them. Connor won't actually mind probably being in fourth behind these guys in some ways, provided that they don't cause him too much mischief. And it's really interesting to see the Urs usage through here. A lot of them would have used the lockdown into turn 1, and it's a notorious track for not being able to earn it back, as we get a lovely stadium view cam here. Filtering through as someone goes down the inside. That is J-Luke on Toincoin. And Toincoin and J-Luke are battling this out. Oh, giving such great respect there. That was fantastic work. And Toincoin does keep the place. I would argue it's perhaps slightly churlish to be battling someone. Looked like he took a swipe at him there. I wasn't massive keen on that. I don't really know why you would necessarily want to battle someone on softs at this point, but there we go, as he doesn't actually do it, as we've had an overtake. We've got a bit of a battle going through here out of turn 3. It's Ryan B who needs to get past the lady, and we have a spinner. That is Lars. Lars will not be happy there. And that's a nightmare start from his race. It goes from bad to worse. J-Luke is making absolute moves as he needs to, and he is up into 10th. He is going to fly or die. I think he's running a 2-stop here, unless something very bizarre happens. Maybe he's doing soft hard, but not a bad strategy. It's not the longest pit lane in the world, and I still think this is one of the tracks where you do end up getting a safety car or two. So not a bad option from the young man. But Harry F looking fairly steady in 8th, but a lot of these medium runners, Matt Tibos will be genuinely concerned that he is not catching Sagat at a rate of knots, and that's only going to get harder. It will get maybe slightly easier, but then it will get harder, as he needs to stay in that DRS zone, and you don't get it down here. Obviously it is enabled after lap 3, but the detection point is all the way back in the stadium section, so you don't get any runs, and there's only one detection point, as I'm sure we all know, on the main straight and out of turn 3, so that's going to cause problems, as J-Luke again making moves. Need to keep an eye on him a little bit more, as Harry F has got a run on a Leddy as well. What are they doing here? He's going to have a little look, is he? No. But that will be a roadblock, and what's going to be interesting is all these tyre types, all 3 compounds are in battle here, with the slowest one being ahead. So J-Luke is really going to want to get a lead. Unless something very strange happens, he will be absolutely keen to get past, as we have a gap in the train, and a real big gap as well, because Ryan B doesn't have DRS on Chill, he doesn't have it on Connor, and a Leddy for measure doesn't have it on Ryan B. So they're all in their own little world now, and that is not something they particularly want. Matt has done well to hang on, and he's had to use a bit of battery to stay with Sagat. Now this is where it becomes interesting. Sagat makes a mistake out of the last corner, and Tibos will enjoy a double dose of DRS just to stretch him in. Sagat was very close there to breaking that DRS, and I think if he did, it could have been a very different race, and I don't think that's an exaggeration, because Tibos will not struggle, I don't think, to stay with him now with the 3 DRS zones that we have here. The third one's a bit of overkill for me, if you have to ask me, but yeah, the top 3 of streaking away. Connor has also made a mistake. He does have DRS, but he won't have it unless he does something particularly interesting. As Stomper loses 2 places, I would assume him and Camke have had, him and Harry have probably had an issue. Will to will, and he has lost 2 places on the back of it. So, this is the situation. Tibos and D Morts are really, they're in a class of their own, as they should be. You know, Connor isn't doing anything particularly wrong, as we have a yellow, and that is Julie Show, 13. But he is back running, not a massive issue, just the small spin. Tibos is on the cusp of losing it, but he gets right back in, and I think this is crucial for him. He's going to get over the line with 9 tenths. And Connor was so close to being on the back of D-Morts, who has got a bomb of battery. An absolute bomb of battery. And he's going to use it all here. Well, not all, but he used a bit of a squeeze of it. And again, look, Gat has got the jump on that, you know, for pace, and in spite of having a worse set of tyres. But one thing I'll say for him is that unfortunately, you can be a good nearly second quicker a lap here, but that DRS is just going to keep dragging that second and third place with him. And that will be music to their ears, as Connor is in a very interesting spot. He probably doesn't really know if he's net second or net fourth at this point, but he won't be too unhappy as J-Luke making another move on a leady. And those tyres are going to start to hurt. And actually, if you look at the train, I think they may already be starting to hurt, because there's a lot of them bunched up there, and that's going to be one to keep an eye on as Cam K and Harry swap positions. But yeah, we are going to be in the J-Luke train, I suspect, because he shouldn't be catching Harry off a stomper already with the time pen. That is not what you need to see, as a leady will be on the back of J-Luke. And this also adds another interesting wrinkle, is that J-Luke has really absolutely spanked his battery, and a leady is going to have a lot of it, and you would argue probably now almost equidistant tyres. It seemed like there was a mistake somewhere there. Toincoin is right on the back of Ryan B. I think Ryan B had a bit of an error going out of that corner. He is using as much as he can. Oh, defends the inside. Toincoin round the outside. This could be a cracking move. He's got to give space. They both give space. This is a cracking battle, and he doesn't get it done. Ryan B manages just about to hang on to that, which is a bit of a shock if you ask me. I didn't think he was favourite, as we have Julie Show, who is struggling to stay in the show at the moment, and he is at the back. He's going to need snookers, but this is a track which can very easily provide them a lot of high-speed corners, a lot of opportunities for some snap oversteer and some snapped wishbones as well. Ryan B is round. Ryan B is round, which is not what he needs. He's going to rejoin. Ooh, that was a bit close. As Lars gets past, Julie Show is getting a time pen, which is not going to help his mood any further, and it rains it pours. J-Luke, interestingly, he's kind of bucked my prediction a bit. As Stomper. Ooh, no front wing. He's going to come in. But actually, J-Luke is losing time to Harry, but he's getting away from a leady. Who, Toincoin, look at this review. Wow, right on the back of Ryan B. Let's go for round two. Ooh, didn't quite get it done. A little bit of a problem there, and you've got someone like YHYY who actually is going to be seeing that flashing light. He doesn't act on it though. Interesting. So he's going to sit behind Toincoin, but that flashing light is when you've got 50% battery, looks very, very nice, because you know that you're in. Even though you're behind, you're probably in a more favourable position, and this is a nightmare track to get it back, by the way. It is not easy to. I think if you're running no ABS, it might be slightly easier, but it's still not particularly great. And now, are we seeing those mediums run off a little bit, because Tibos is struggling to the point where he has lost DRS, and that could be the death knell for this race, because if Gat gets away, that could be curtains. But interestingly, I think we are now really in the proper safety car period for these mediums. If you're a medium driver or a soft driver, you're going to be loving life. If you're a hard driver, you do not want a safety car now. I will tell you that for free. As D-Mort gets it done, not the most exciting overtake in the world, but it doesn't have to be. When you've got that DRS, there's not really much Tibos could do within the letters of the law. And annoyingly, you know, this does frustrate me about this track. D-Mort gets it again, and you know, I feel like that's a bit of a strange error on the part of this track design. I don't really understand why they have a double DRS section. I don't like the one in Canada, and I really don't like the one here because it's far more pronounced. Cam K and Harry, and they're taking it to the streets. Harry keeps the inside. We've got Ryan B interested. Cam K's kind of hustled out the way a little bit here, and Stomper has said no thank you. No mas, as they say in these parts, and he is unfortunately retired out of the race. Harry doing well, but Cam K and him have been having a right ding dong the whole race, so they will be I suspect, in for another round at some point. D Morts reacts. D Morts has set the fastest lap, and do you know what? In hindsight, that may have been an issue. That may have been a mistake, as that McLaren has rejoined awfully. Why does it do that? It's so bizarre, isn't it? It's such an awful, awful foible of this game, and it's still going. It's and Aledi and J-Luke are in a battle, and they're having to contend with a McLaren there, and it's finally off the track. It's just such an awful, awful thing. Aledi keeping J-Luke behind. J-Luke is running deep into this race, so he is after, I think he's going to be after probably that medium strat. Or the hard. Maybe he's decided, no, actually, I can deal with the softs. Braver man than me, and they would overheat for me. And Toincoin also is looking quite pacey out here. I've been quite impressed by his pace, and he's just building a slight gap to YYY. So let's have a look at the... Let's have a look at the situation of high and low as Julie Show. Oof, he is not loving this one, is he? J-Luke is up 8 places. Great effort. Toincoin is up 7. I've had a feeling he was doing quite well just from that. Harry F is also in a stellar situation, and he is up to 6. So yeah, interesting what's going on out there. There's Ryan B and J-Luke. Those softs are now officially at the end of their life, I suspect. And Ryan B gets that done without much in the way of an issue. Will J-Luke get any DRS? He wants to hope he does. He does. Lucky, really. And that will mean... Is he going to keep it? J-Luke and Toincoin. Toincoin, this is going back to a battle I think they had earlier. Difference is, Toincoin is now 100% on the better tyres. It doesn't give J-Luke a world of space, but then again, do you know what? I don't necessarily mind that, because it's a very difficult corner to give a lot of space, and there is a decent runoff. You're not walling anyone by it. No harm, no foul, as Toincoin gets a 3-second penalty, which will be a feature of this race. Judy Show. Stay on the lead lap. If you want my advice, as a Aledi gets a pen, we're starting to see them filter in now, and these will not be the only penalties that you'll see tonight. I will predict that. That's a very, very safe prediction. Tibos doing well. Seems to have curbed that problem a little bit of the pace. I think it's just starting to relax into it. As we have J-Luke in the pits. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. He let his teammate YY through. At that point, I figured that's probably a signal that he's going to be pitting us sooner rather than later. Jumps on the hards. Interesting. So he's decided for a soft hard strategy from the back. I like it. It's a little bit more inventive. It's interesting to see what he can do from here, really. Connor is coming back at Matt. And look at the gap. I haven't really noticed this as much. Sorry, I'll take that off the screen. That was slightly irritating. Apologies for that. I'm not used to being the lead streamer here. But one thing I will tell you is that Chill is in an absolute world of his own. And I suspect he probably doesn't hate that. Because the biggest problem we have here is that he's not necessarily gonna... He's not going to pick up tons of points, as we have another retirement from Judy Show. Don't necessarily blame him on that one, to be completely honest. It's just an absolute nightmare. But yeah. So Connor, up at the 4th, doing very well now. He's going to start pressuring Matt, you have to feel, fairly soon. Matt is also losing a bit of pace on D-Morts. They'd have seen J-Luke going, and maybe they wouldn't have. And then I think I suppose the issue that they have now is that they can box for those hards, I think, from this point. But if they do, the world swings back in the favour of the hards if there is an SC. And again, I wouldn't rule it out here. I really wouldn't. It's a track where it punishes your mistakes very harshly. Sagat. Wow. We wanted wrinkles. We needed wrinkles for this one, because this was starting to look a little bit pedestrian in regards to the race winner. The man that's only ever finished on the podium in first place and never second or third has now got a 3-second penalty, and he finds himself, don't get me wrong, he's in pole position in so many ways because he's doing it on the worst tyre set, and he's got a 2.2 second gap that he's brought over 12 laps. So he makes a mistake somewhere because D Mortz catches him by 3 tenths there, and Connor is going to have a run at Matt, who I don't know, doesn't have DRS. This is going to be an absolute slam dunk. Matt isn't even fighting it. He doesn't have much of which to fight it, to be honest. And he will just settle in, and he will know that he's in a race for a podium here. And he hasn't got much behind him in the way of a threat because Chill is nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And Harry F is catching him. But the guys behind have a penalty too. So that is a slight foreball. Now, we'll see where J-Luke comes out actually, because he will be loving this undercut. I really like the aggressive strategy from him. Starting from the back, I think we might as well go for it. So, he's going to cause a few issues, I suspect. Because he's going to be up in the echelons higher. I really think he could jump quite a few of these guys, potentially. Maybe even up to Harry F. and Leddy kind of vibes, maybe. As Ryan B gets a penalty. Penalties are going to be flying around here. They are going to be absolutely everywhere. This is very much not over. And if you think about it, we have Harry Round, I'd assume. We do have Harry Round with no wing. That would have been close to a DNF. And that was incredibly close to a DNF, I would suggest, with a full snap wing. Connor now has got his eyes on D Mortz, who obviously doesn't have any DRSs because he's a mile away from so bad. Twincoin is the first. No, sorry, Harry F is the first medium runner to pit. It is early, but it's not that early. It's definitely doable. Definitely doable. Particularly if you're running higher pressures. Now, Connor Keith has a little dummy that thought better of it, and Matt will be loving this. He will be absolutely loving this because this keeps him. If they battle, that just keeps him with them. Because he's the only one that's in danger here. I would say he is very much fourth on pace in this race. A very comfortable fourth, but a very obvious fourth. As Harry pits. Harry's gone on to the mediums. Interesting. I think he had to in a way. He had to in a way, didn't he? But yeah, he's gone on to those meds. I think they could They could work for him if there's another safety car. If there were a first safety car, I should say. Because then he can bolt on another set of the mediums and not be too affected in the race. But he does have to keep an eye on the fact that the leaders are creeping up on him as D Mortz, apologies, takes that pit. And that is a very, very shrewd pit because Connor, whilst he gets DRS, didn't get past him, and Chill will inherit fourth. Where does D Mortz come out? What kind of traffic? He could come out in a lot of traffic, you know. Oh, he could come out in an awful. This could be awful for his race because he's gonna come out smack bang in the middle of this, isn't he? Oh dear, what's Camke gonna do? Camke's giving it. He's not gonna give it up. D Mortz does. That is a hammer blow. That's a hammer blow, that really is, because he is going to be, well, he's going to be in tyre warm-ups, and maybe actually in some ways it might not affect him as much as it could. But you will not be happy to see Lars, and Lars will not want this guy slowing him up at this point. Not on your Nelly. So, yeah, it could be crucial. That undercut is not all it's cracked up to be on this game compared to the others. It was always a very obvious thing to do. There was no such thing as an undercut, really. But the tyre warm-up phase and getting stuck behind some of these guys as we have a yellow, and that is Camke and Ryan who have made contact. Unbelievably, there's no SC. Again, both in the wall, both survive. Quite bizarre. Yeah, Tibos doing well now to keep onto the back of Connor at this point. He's going deep. He's going deep into this race. As we have Twincoin on Aledi. Aledi's gone ultra defensive. He is saying, the inside line is mine, sir. And Twincoin said, no, don't worry about it. You're defending fresh air, sir. So Aledi gets back on the racing line and they crack on again. Twincoin, will he attack this one? That will be the interesting point of view. Yeah, it should be on now, and it is, and he should get this done. This should be a fairly easy move, to be honest. Although it looks like he's running a lot higher wings, potentially. I mean, Aledi outbreaks himself, and that is a masterful move. Pressure got to Aledi. And why? He's also one of these characters that seems to be in a race all by himself. D. Mortz was released, wasn't he, from that? I think that's what's really interesting. He was almost released from that battle with... because I think he was in and around the chaps that crashed, as we have a yellow, which is that Tibos? It's Matt Tibos! Now, you know what? That will have cost him, but in a very strange way, if you're going to snap your wing at any point of a race, you want it to be around the time you would pit, about 2 corners before the pit entry, wouldn't you, really? It's going to cost him. It's really going to cost him, and it probably moves Chill up to 4th on a net position, but it's still very hard to tell. There's a lot to shake out here, a lot of pit stops to be had. D. Mortz now. It'll be interesting to see the gap between those two. It's going to be massive, of course, with the spin and the wing change, but this is going to be absolute torture for Tibos. He will be frustrated. And do you know what? Mistakes sometimes breed mistakes. He's got cold tyres. He needs to be careful. He is going to come out in a lot of fresh air because those tyres are going to take warming up, so Camke will skittle on further down the road. And it's, you know, there's a lot of gaps, which is not what you need when you're commentating solo. I will be completely honest with you. But Graham Mark in the chat. Viva Mexico! Yeah, absolutely. Your home track, sir. So there we go. But I'll be racing later if you want to have a little look. 10 past 8 our time, so I think that's... Oh, daylight savings kind of messed up, isn't it? Because you're already on daylight savings, so yeah. In a bit, basically, after this race. But, sorry, I just having a little chat with my dad there. But Camke is one of the lads at the back who's obviously had a bit of issues. Matt is doing pretty well in keeping with him, despite being on cold tyres, but Sergat is in a very, very, very nice position here. But D. Mortz is also doing pretty damn well. As Chill gets a pen, that's pretty important. Actually, that could really shake things down. But then again, look, everyone around him's got one anyway, and so if there's a safety car, it could really shake things up. And YY, don't discount him here, because if there is any safety cars later on, he is squeaky clean, and the highest squeaky clean man other than Conor O'Keefe. So that will definitely help him. But D. Mortz is catching him, as you'd expect. One of the quickest people on the track, with much, much, much fresher tyres, and he is already in DRS, and this should be a fairly slam dunk move. If I know YY like I suspect, I don't think he's going to put up much of a fight, because they're in completely different races, realistically. I imagine the hard runners start to come in fairly soon, though. I can't imagine they want to stay out too much longer. And again, the overcut's going to be important. With a good tyre warm-up, it can actually be quite a good thing to have here, compared to other tracks, potentially, if you're going on to the mediums anyway. But D. Mortz, yeah, he's not pushing too massively. He's going to use his he's using his ERS really intelligently, I have to say, and I don't think he is going to in any way fight this. It's interesting, he's not fighting it, but then also I don't know why D. Mortz goes up the inside. I feel like, there was a bit of a clash, and D. Mortz made that way more complicated than it need be. That's why Y goes very wide. I feel like he let him through there a little bit. As Camke and Matt Tibos having a bit of a row, but an easy row for Matt to win with DRS compared to Camke, who clearly didn't have it. So he will be scampering up the field. You can imagine he's just going to try and catch Harry F, and then it's going to be a case of trying to just secure that 4th place and hope something weird happens ahead. We are definitely in the safety car zone for the hards now, so the medium safety car zone is very dead, and the hard zone is really in business. So as Conor comes in, what will the gap be between D. Mortz and Conor? You would imagine D. Mortz is going to have stretched that gap probably quite significantly. And it will be interesting to see if Connor has got the raw pace to catch him, even in spite of obviously having a fresher compound, because Demorts and Sagat look in a slightly different level here today. Connor comes out ahead. Wow. I did not expect that, as Tibos sets the fastest lap. Demorts will want to get past him now. He will really want to get past him now. He's not going to have any help from that from DRS, because obviously he wasn't in the detection zone because he was coming out of the pits. He's a nicer man than me. I'd have been sending that with Connor having cold tyres. I would have been sending that, but he doesn't. But then again, he will get it the next lap, almost certainly, because he's got a bomb of ours, and he should be able to stick with him, even though those tyres will be firing up quite quickly through this sector, you imagine. So that. Oh! He's crashed from the lead, just as I've gone from him. He's made a mistake into the pit. The man either wins or goes out. And that has to be an SC. That is a full course safety car. I have caught him in 4K making possibly the most criminal mistake you can ever make. Big shout out to TDB, who was the last person I've ever seen do that. The hard runners who didn't pit, cash your chips in now. Absolutely scenes. Is QBR Chill going to benefit from a safety car? He always complains he's he's on the raw end of it, but I think he might. As Demorts, oh, do you know what? I rate it. I think everyone's going to come in for these mediums. Harry does not. Does he get past a Leddy? They'll be racing. No. And Tibos also. Oh, Tibos is in a nasty position here, as is Harry F. I feel like everyone behind should probably pit, but they don't, which is bizarre if you ask me. But Cam K, do what Cam K does. He loves a good safety car. He normally takes advantage of it, and I don't think this will be any different. I think staying out on those hards may well be an error, particularly if they're fairly old. Right, this is going to be a very interesting phase of the Grand Prix now, because Connor is your net leader. Unbelievable scenes. What an effort from him. Harry F and Matt are there, but Dean Mortz is the only man, well, he's the second fastest man on track that doesn't, well, he's the fastest track now, so Gat has left the building, unfortunately. But as I'm trying to access Race Director, let's have a look, and he's got one warning, so he's not really in danger at all. As well, I'm just going to quickly just mute myself for 5 to 15 seconds or so. I'll be back with you shortly, and we will be going again. But Sir Gat, that was an absolute nightmare. Just having a drink of water while this safety car period is live, just to rest my throat, because this has been manic and I don't think I've stopped. So I will be back with you fairly shortly, probably in about a minute's time. One thing to point out, Harry's going to have to get a move on here. Harry will have to get a move on to get to the back of this pack, because he is a long way behind. Appreciate it's a long old lap, but in the sense of the safety car is going to slow down quite significantly, but it should be fine. But kind of semi-fine, I would argue. We are getting going now, as Toincoin is going to have to try and react to Conor O'Keefe. Harry has made it to the back of the pack. When's he going to go? He's gone. Conor has officially gone. Toincoin left a little bit slouchy. Harry F's had a phenomenal run at Aledi. He's going to be under a world of pressure here. Harry F using and abusing that ERS to no avail. And I'll tell you who wasn't using and abusing that ERS was Chill. He has kept his for the oncoming battle, which I think is a very, very stellar idea. Use as little as you can if you're to ensure you're not overtaken, and to ensure you overtake. It's basically the golden rule here. The usage has to be on point, as Lars now is all over the back of Camke. And he's going to not get it done. So J-Luke, sorry, apologies. J-Luke is actually gone for Lars. And Lars and Ryan B. Lars has been knocked off a little bit there. Probably put into a side spin, and he's lost a bomb of places. So I'm rooting for Lars and Harry, because they've stuck in. They've had some difficult times in this race, and they're still here. They haven't quit, and they are still around. Fair play to them. D. Mortz, this is the man we want to keep an eye on, really. He has got the absolute ability here to minimum get second. That's an opportunity that he absolutely has if he drives well. Doesn't even have to drive exceptionally, I would argue. He just has to keep it clean, sensible, and free of pens. And I would argue he's probably favourite to come second here. Harry F is feeling the burn. He's really feeling the burn of the pace, compared to Aledi, who's feeling it to Chill, who is feeling it to Toincoin. And Toincoin is in a very, very great position here, because he seems to be able to just about live with Conor compared to those behind him. And Matt's going to be in a real interesting point here, because you would back Matt's pace from what we saw earlier before that mistake to probably get the jump on Harry, who's not going to have any DRS unless he pulls over 3 temps in the next few corners. Matt has to make this work, and Ryan B behind him is on those mediums. So Matt really has to get this done this lap, as he's losing a bit of time. That was very close to the line. I wonder if that was a warning. And Harry picks up another pen. You do not need 2 pens here. 1 pen is probably about half of the course. 2, it's never a good idea. D. Mortz then. What can he do? Let's ride on board with Matt, because this is a crucial for his race, and I think he knows it, because he is burning it. And Harry has not got much to use. Oh, sorry, there is no DRS. What are we talking about? It's going to be enabled this lap, isn't it? Because the detection point. Again, another beef I have with that detection point. But Connor, this looks like his race to lose. And even this camera makes it look even extra serene for no apparent reason. Very peaceful. I wish we could just ride on board with this camera the whole race. It's so much better than half of them, but there we are. He makes a mistake there. But I feel like Twincoin might have made a small one too. And Harry's getting dropped. These guys actually at the front. D-Mort's, he needs to get a move on. He's far too comfortable here. I mean, he's in this train. He's got the pace. We know he's got the pace. He's far too comfortable. Those guys are going to get more than 3 seconds away. As Camco has dropped it. As he reverses onto the racing line, which is a slightly bizarre thing to do. Oh god, Camco and Harry again. Did they clash? Didn't catch that, but it's very possible, considering where they're on track. Right, Matt. This is your chance. You've got to get it done now. You should get it done. It should be fairly easy, you would argue, because Harry's got literally nothing left in regards to battery. So this should be a massive overspeed. It's going to come late. Is he going to clear him? He is going to clear him, which is crucial. Right, now Ryan B and D-Morts need to think carefully about what the plan is. They need to get a move on. You want to be patient, of course you do. But Ryan smells it. You can see that flashing light. And this should be... Oh, that is a lovely move. That's reminiscent of Daniel Ricciardo, actually, in a Red Bull from a few years ago. He pulled exactly the same move at the exact same place before Daniel Ricciardo was pants. And then Harry F, though, he's still in this, but Ryan will scamper away. What's that? That's Twincoin. Oi, oi, oi. How's your rejoin, sir? That was not the best, but there we go. He's got another Ryan B behind him. He's not a fan of Ryan B. He's already had a go at one in the chat midway through the safety car. So that'll be an interesting one. There's some licence points there. But yeah, D-Morts is, again, just looks a bit too comfy for me. And I tell you what, I back Matt here to catch these two ahead. In spite of the worst tyres, they're only going to get better, or less worse, should I say, maybe is probably the more relevant term, as YXYY is actually making a move on D-Morts. This is what I mean. It's that patience that can kill you sometimes. So we have a yellow. That is, oh my lord, that's a leady. Oh, he's left the session. He is fuming. Either that or his internet's let him down, which is possible because he's all the way in Uruguay, not known fact. But D-Morts gets past Harry. Crucial for his race. And if you're Matt Tibos, you're going to see that and you're going to think, I didn't really want that because I know that guy's quite quick. But Matt himself now is on course for second after what was fairly disastrous luck. He's been quite lucky really that Ryan B and D-Morts haven't been able to really push through the field as quick as they probably wanted. And Harry, I mean, Harry's the interesting cork in the bottle now. Because YXYY is having someone all over the back of him, Twincoin by the looks of it. I have no idea what's going on here. That was industrial, I think would be the word I would use. And that's just cost him a bomb of time. Harry's going to love seeing that behind him. YXYY is using... Harry has literally nothing left, but he does have DRS. Ryan B now, on the back of Matt Tibos. Ryan B doesn't bother. Camco and Aledi swap places. It's because Aledi's AI is pit. But there we go. And this is going to be it, I think. This has to be it. Will D-Morts push? Again, far too patient. You might prove me wrong, but I just feel like he is far too patient. As Ryan B also doesn't get past Matt. I find this very strange. Harry F and YXYY and Twincoin, these three are just taking it to the streets. This is a bit wild. Look what it's done. The net winner of that three-way fight wasn't even one of them. So they've unfortunately lost DRS to D-Morts. So as YXYY picks up a pen, which will not help his situation. I can understand Harry buying this a bit, especially with them having pens. He's going to think, the longer I can stay ahead of you, the more chance you can't pull 3 seconds on me, because you can't if you're behind me. Whereas you might be able to if you're ahead of me. Right, Ryan B, you've got loads of battery too. Patience is a virtue, but not to this point, I feel. But Ryan B is going to push. He's decided. He backed out of pushing. He pushed a bit more. Nah, sensible use actually. Very sensible use, and he will get the move done. And Harry's having an absolute Western supermare out there. Now, Tibos is not going to have any DRS thanks to that double detection point. So you would back Mortz, and Mortz finally uses some of that battery. And now, Mortz gets the move. Does he? No. Wow. That is very important. And Matt will know in his heart of hearts as we have a yellow. That's Harry. Harry's had enough. Harry said, thank you. Good night. I'm off. Toincoin, 3 second time pen. His race has just been all over the place. He's shown some cracking pace, but he's been struggling. Ryan B with a time pen. So we are, as D Mortz now, is looking at the back of Matt Tibos. Matt's tyres, I mean, they should start coming into their own a little bit here. Are we going to have any issues with this Ferrari coming out? Hopefully not. But D Mortz is so patient with his battery. I don't mind it now. But Ryan B and Tibos. Oh my lord, that car. What is it doing? Oh my good lord. It's just stupid is what it is. Retired car just coming out where it comes out is just so bizarre to me. I wish they'd fix that, but it's ruined someone's evening so unnecessarily. This is such an interesting race. Connor we've not really spoken about Connor since the restart, but he has run away with this. If Chill can somehow pick up 18 points here, that is as close to a win as he would have ever imagined. How he would be able to get 18 here when he's absolutely terrible at this track baffles me. You can never complain about his safety car luck again. Fraudulent P2 as it stands. He doesn't care. He will take the points and run away as quick as he can. But Tibos is in an interesting position because he probably can see that Ryan is actually catching Chill ever so slightly. There's not a massive urgency for him to get past Ryan, but he's also got D Mortz on his back with a better compound. You could argue it's not better now, but that is an interesting dynamic as J-Luke and Harry. J-Luke gets it done before the entry into turn 1, which is very common. Yeah, Toincoin he's had to pit again, which is not great for him. But here we are. I mean, the dynamic is Ryan B is a long way from Chill. He doesn't really have the incentive to catch Chill. But Chill could tighten up here very easily and lose 8 temps. And then you've got Matt Tibos and D Mortz who 100% could catch him. Based on the fact that they don't have a pen. But again, there's a lack of urgency with these guys. I wonder if they realise just how close. I mean, Tibos will, and surely maybe Mortz can't actually see Chill's MFD, and maybe he's unaware as to what's going on there. But Tibos can 100% see it. Harry's in line here to pick up a decent performance because he's going to jump a couple of places, and why might even be one of them. It's going to be tight though, but he's looking good for it. Tibos on the back of Ryan B still, who is ebbing and flowing. They're kind of trading times with Chill, as that is Toincoin. Yes, that is Toincoin, who, interestingly, if he he needs to stay out because he's online for a point because Aledi has He's, to my knowledge, yeah, he's literally not at the races. As D-Mort's now looking on the back of Matt. This is crucial. Matt needs to stay in DRS of Ryan B. He needs to stay in DRS of Ryan B. That is one of the most crucial things. He was fine through the detection point. He will use just to solidify that. And that should be enough of a comfort blanket. That 10th is, as Ryan B is actually very close to getting to where he needs to for the sake of the guys behind him to chill. So Chill is not out of the woods here, as Matt's done an excellent job there of staying in DRS. That was a big save from him from his point of view, because Mortz would have made absolute mincemeat of him if he didn't. So really stellar effort. Now Chill could tighten up here. There's 3 laps left. He's got a 7/10 advantage, basically. It's ebbing and flowing. It's under a second anyway to Tibos, and he's only got 1.3 to D-Mortz. So this is looking more and more likely that Chill could end up losing this podium if he's not very careful. Again, just want to re-emphasise, Connor, we've not forgot about you, but you're just driving around at the front. So well done, but yeah. That's the fastest lap of the race. That will be worth 2 points, because I imagine Aledi will not be getting any prizes for his 12th place, because he's not there after he crashed. Right, this gap, Chill seems to have reacted ever so slightly, and it is now at 3.4. Crucially, it's at 4 seconds to Tibos. That's really the gap we need to focus on, because Ryan B obviously has his pen. I'm just going to check the pens very quickly. The only people that have 6 is Torncoin, so not really too relevant. All of the penalties are 3 seconds except Torncoin, who is a long way from pretty much anyone at this point. Tibos, what can he do? You've got to get something moving, but then again, the problem is he's also got D-Mortz behind him. D-Mortz, I feel like he could have done more here. And this is going to be for position. This is for on-track position. This is exactly what Chill will be loving if he could see this. And they've gone too wide. And look at the time it's cost them. Oh, a big snap from D-Mortz. And Matt is now out of deal. Yeah, this is the problem. D-Mortz, that was unfortunately not quite right, and that could have cost him, but Matt is probably going to be okay. The enemy of your enemy is your friend, but this looks very... Wow, Ryan is now within 3 seconds. So if they get Ryan, they get Chill. That's pretty much the formula you've got to work with, as Camk actually does pick up a second pen. So that, what I said earlier, is not unfortunately relevant for him, because he has 6 seconds. But they get Aledi, and obviously Aledi's not there, and Chonkon's a long way from home. So Tibos is going to use everything, as is D-Mortz, and D-Mortz has got a lot more of everything to use. He could get him here. If he doesn't get him here, you get him the next part of the track. You would think he's got the straight line. This is just wonderful. Now attack. Now attack. Now get onto the back. You've got to get onto the back now, because if you don't, I mean, you've got third, unless Matt can do something pretty impressive, but you could very easily get second, and Chill will be tightening up out there, because he'll know this is he will have seen D-Mortz jump into fourth, and he will know what that means. This is crucial for the title race. These are 1 and 2 in the standings. Ryan B is there. D-Mortz doesn't even have to overtake him at this point. All he has to do is get alongside him or close to him. It's now 2.7. Chill is potentially bottling this. It's going to be super tight over this race. Ryan B in the Alpha gets a pen. The fireworks are going off for Conor O'Keefe. Ryan B is right on the back of Chill's penalty range for D-Mortz, but it's not going to be enough. I think Chill's actually going to get this done. But that was incredibly close. That won't have been comfortable. D-Mortz will take third. Matt will take fourth. Ryan will be ready to get to fifth. Whites Y sixth. Or will he be? Harry F jumps Whites Y and J Luke, which is pretty interesting actually. Cam K, and that is going to be that, won't it? And Twincoin will actually inherit 12th place. What a bizarre ending there. That was pretty tense. One more lap, and I think that could have been it. As interesting, they're still using the DRS in the cool down lap. That's pretty intriguing. But yeah, no, solid race from all of them there, and yeah, absolutely staggering. Conor O'Keefe is your winner from Chill. What a performance there! Wow, that's crucial. He extends his lead. He never would have thought that before this race. D. Mort's in third, Tibos in fourth, which is pretty much where he was favourite to finish. Pretty much that whole race, I think. After Sergat crashed, before Sergat crashed, he was probably favourite to finish fourth. And after he crashed, he was favourite to finish fourth. And that's the end of his title hopes as well. And that would have been huge for them. Absolutely huge, because he brought out the safety car. Chill would not have got a podium today. He would have gained at least 15 points on Chill. Alas, he didn't. But Conor O'Keefe is your winner. Ryan B, I've gone over the front four already, but Ryan B in fifth. Harry keeping it clean and showing why you keep it clean, because he jumped up both YY and J Luke. YY's title hopes really take a dash there. J Luke, Ryan B, Lars in 10th after a really up and down race. Fair play to Lars for continuing. Cam Kane 11th, Leddy in 12th, who will not keep that in probably all honesty. It's down to the stewards, of course, but Tom Coyne will probably inherit that 12th place. And then the four retirements, the man on pole who had the absolute pace everywhere. Unfortunately for him, you don't get any points for quali. But yeah, this has been a win for two people tonight. It's been a win for Conor O'Keefe. It's been a win for Chill. Yeah, for the pair of them in a funny way. It's actually really hard to pick a driver of the day from this, because you think Gap would have probably been your favourite. If I had to pick three nominees, it would probably be, I would say Tibos for holding on those tyres is definitely one. Harry F for keeping it clean, and no, I'm going to say Tibos, QPR Chill and Conor O'Keefe, actually, because you can't really not nominate the winner of the race, and someone that probably extended their championship lead on one of their worst tracks. So, but that will be it from me. I am going to have a break. There won't be any interviews because I need a break before a race, to be completely honest, is the main reason. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, and I will not see you next week here, but I'll see you next week over in D1 probably. We're on a break week actually, so I won't see you anywhere. I'll be far away from this game as possible. Good night.